Um, Good afternoon. Today is September 2nd, 2025, and we are going to be continuing this meeting from last week. This is a continuance. So we'll start out by doing the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone join in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yep. Okay, Helen, any minutes? No,
No,
okay. Reports,
I have none.
correspondence.
I have none.
Oh, this is good. Okay,
Working right through.
calendar review.
The only thing I have is BTAC at 8 o'clock on Thursday.
Anything else, Commissioner Kirsch?
Only thing I have to add is a road safety meeting Thursday morning, 7 a.m.
I don't really have anything, and I'm not gonna go on a field trip with B-Bar-D over to Phillipsburg, so that's all I have for that week. Okay. Holy cow, I didn't even- All right, Commissioner reports. I have none, so Commissioner Kirsch.
All right, I did have a few things last week last Tuesday when we were at this meeting. I had to excuse myself because the governor was out at Riverside for a tour with the Department of Corrections. It was just a quick update on the existing women's population and expansion plans out there. No update on the new prison placement. They did ask the governor about that, and he said, we're not to that point yet. We're trying to figure out how to figure out where they're gonna put that. So no new update. It sounds like they're gonna allow any county to put out a request for information and try to figure out where the best place to place that new women's prison they're working on. But the Riverside will be expanded. I think they're at 50 beds now. They're gonna get it up to 100 beds for the women with children. I believe that's how it's set up right now, so.
Is that what Brian Gukin was talking about on TV? That part of
Probably
it?
so, yeah, yeah. So that was good. The governor got to walk through it. The residents out there were super nice. They were actually really super happy for being out there. They were like, this is such a nice place. It's open air. It's really good. They lost some of the programs coming from Billings to here. They don't have their vocational programs all set up here yet, but that's to come. So this will be a good reward for the prisoners that want to work to get fixed and get out of the system. So Boulder's a great step in getting there. So that'll be great. Let's see, Wednesday morning, solid waste safety meeting. Jesse reviewed the hearing loss and preservation program. And the department's doing very well. Mike does an awesome job. I say this every time because he does do a good job. But yeah, no safety problems and just a review on the hearing loss stuff. So let's see, that same day, Wednesday, Tippet board meeting. Kelly and Karen from Headwaters attended to clarify revolving fund program management. So in our South Tippet, we set aside some money in the budget for a revolving loan program. So if somebody wants to move into that South Tippet, they can utilize this revolving loan for a bridge loan or something. Headwaters already does that type of loan, so we're just trying to wrap our ears around it. We don't really have a policy or anything in place for that money yet, so we're trying to get a head start on that. GLDC was thinking about maybe using it for building a warehouse or something out there, and they may use some of it or they may not. It sounds like that money is usually typically for loans that aren't bankable. Like if you go to the bank and they say your project's too risky or whatever, something like this might kick in and be able to fund you for something like that. So let's see. Wednesday night, Clancy Water Sewer meeting. One cool thing that's happening, they punched a well out on the Marks property, and I'm not exactly sure in my mind exactly where it's at, but I think it's somewhere over in the where his sawmill and stuff is over there. I'm trying to think what the gulch is there. Lump Gulch.
Oh,
Somewhere in that Lump Gulch area, but they got good water. They got good quantity of water. They're testing the water now, so if it comes back clean without any contaminants, and including the what do they got over there? This not the nitrate side of it, but the radionuclides, the radioactive part of it. If they can get away from that and get good waters, they may have a winner there, which is really exciting for these guys. They've been looking for it for years and years, and this may be maybe a win for them. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that happens. And I think that was the biggest thing for that meeting. See, anything else? Oh, we met with the health nurse this morning. She kind of went over what's going on. Had a little bit of a COVID uptick in the county. I think she said it's been quiet all summer. They had 2 or 3 come through lately. Normally people probably wouldn't know they had COVID unless they go to the hospital and actually get tested for it. And if they get tested for it and they're positive, it gets reported back to our health department. So.
I have a question on that.
Sure.
You might not know the answer.
Probably not.
Okay.
I'll try.
Okay. Is it as strong as the original COVID where you lose smell and taste? Or is it just a larger sense of the flu?
She didn't actually say that. I meant to ask her that and I forgot, but I believe it's getting less and less severe as
Okay.
as the variants come out, but they go to the hospital for it, so it's probably people with respiratory problems that it just makes worse, so. Health department's been attending events, Clancy Days, Frontier Days Fair, Farmers Market, such, just to spread the word and their services and just to get out there and be seen. QPR training available at the libraries at the end of September. September 23rd is the Boulder Library, September 26th, Whitehall Library, Clancy Library, September 30th, Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday. That's a free suicide prevention class open to anyone who wants to learn about what's going on in Montana. And that's a class that helps you recognize the signs and the people around you that there might be sometimes the signs aren't obvious. So this helps you recognize the signs that somebody you're working with or one of your family members may be at risk for a suicide attempt. So good class to take.
It is.
We're actively working to find a health coordinator for our health coordinator position, our mental health coordinator position, I should say. It's posted in the newspaper, I believe, and it sounded like we already had one applicant. And we haven't heard anything since because Kelly's out of town right now, so hopefully we got more. And I think that's about it. We did talk about the building 5 out there, Cottage 5, if we want to keep pushing to try to get that done. It's getting to be years on that. If we want to swivel and maybe go look at some other way to get the health department in some bigger offices, we're actively talking about that. We just got to figure out with Leah if we're at a good stopping point where we can look at other options with the funding we have. We kind of have it committed for the grants and stuff that Leah's working on now, so we don't want to pull that out from under her if that's the case. And I think that was all we had up until now, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have to report on.
Thank you, Commissioner. I made for part of the day, and like me. All right, now is the chance for opportunity for public comment that is not on the agenda. And again, I ask that if you decide to public comment, that you identify yourself prior to whatever you have to say. So it's open to public comment. Edie.
Edie Rhodes, based in Montana. You should have received a call, Corey, from Mr. Young.
Oh, the road?
On the
Yep.
road.
Mhm.
So I was told 2 other full-time residents would be here with me, but anyway, we've gone down this battle before. Okay, we're talking about Big Lumber and Boulder Chief. About 5 years ago, I do believe the county went up and graded it. And so we're looking for that again. And he called the road department, and the road department, of course, told him it's a non-maintained road. We know that. We see the sign as we turn to drive. But right now, there are now 6 full-time residences out there. So all we're looking for is just to get it graded. We do what we can with the snow cover, because I know we're not supposed to touch the road at all because it's a county road, but we have to get in and out to our residences. So we plow the snow off of it and try to maintain that part so that we can get in and out. But with all the huge rainfall that we've had this year, it is getting difficult to get up there. And we're afraid that people such as the propane company are going to literally refuse to come up again. And we faced that once before. So we are pleading to the county commissioners to please get somebody up there and grade it before the winter, so that we can maybe hopefully go another 3 to 5 years before we have to come back before you again, because we're not allowed to fix it ourselves And we're not rich up there. I can't hire somebody to get up there who's got the equipment and has the license, can get the permit to get up there and get that road just graded for us.
Did I hear you right, say that the last time was 3 to 5 years
I think
ago?
it was 3 to 5 years ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we rarely come now. When I first moved up there, Corey and I talked a lot, and his dad, we've talked a lot about this. But we try not to be a problem because I do know it's a non-maintained road, and at that time, the county had an agreement with the forestry department, and they were gonna maintain it, and they put a nice little pretty sign, non-maintained. So what we're looking to do is just occasionally get these ditches out, because we certainly wouldn't wanna end up what happened Earl at one time. You remember what happened with Earl? It swallowed his truck. They had to pull up and pull him out of his truck, cause it literally, it was a huge hole. So, yeah, I admit he had a small truck like I do, it's like a Maverick, but it swallowed his truck and him, and they had to get him out. So, I guess it's just me making the plea, but again, there's 5 other full-time residences, and I could tell you where they live. And then there's 2 other areas that are part-time residences. One of them has multiple families in it, that's one in Manhattan, just down from me. And then we have Chuck up top. So that are part-time, but we're just discussing for the full-time residences that are up through year round.
I know some of those roads up there there's nothing to grade left, Edie. I should go drive that just to see what it looks like, but, we could take a grader up there and all we're doing is scratching the rocks all the way up, and there's nothing to pull back on the road to make it a nice road, and I don't know if that's the case up there. But, a lot of those roads, we end up having to rent a bulldozer and push in
That's right.
material, break up the rocks and actually have material to work with to shape the road, so I'll have to go up there and look at it, but I don't think there's any problem with getting something done up there before winter.
Okay, were you able to call Mr. Young back? or-
I did, I talked to him this
That might be
morning.
why he's not here and he hasn't called me.
Maybe so, yeah, maybe so, Bear couldn't be at the road meeting this morning, or I talked to him today, but we bumped it to next week, so next week I'll have a visit with him and I may go up and take a look at it in the meantime, since I live fairly close up there, I can go take a look up there and see what we're looking at, and I'm assuming those both are county roads, is that correct? You
That's
know?
correct.
They're both county roads, okay.
Yeah, both were established a long time ago.
Long time ago, mining
Long
claim
before
roads,
me. In
yeah.
fact, Boulder Chief has an addition to its name. I had to look all that up to prove somebody else wrong. To let him know that he didn't know what he was doing.
All right,
But,
Yeah.
yeah, so,
shouldn't be a problem for us to get something done up there, even if we gotta haul a little fill or something to fill the big holes or
yeah,
whatever.
I do know, Corey, last time they did it, they dug into the sides of the mountain there,
Okay.
on Mount Thompson, and pulled the stuff over.
Okay.
So
Perfect,
that might be what you're talking about.
might be, yep, okay. Very good. Thanks for
Mr.
being
Chairman,
here.
point of information. How long of a road are you talking between the 2 of them?
Up to me is a little over 3 miles. And then if they go up to the person that's still a full-time resident up at the top, which is really difficult, and they refused to last time, because it really gets the big ones. And that's another little over 1/4 of a mile up to their place. We're not asking to go above them at all. We'd like to include them in it. But they're the ones, they have that quick hill. It's a really good grade of a hill, and it gets the huge runoffs
Okay. And so 3 1/4 miles is what you're talking about,
thereabouts.
and, are there any school children up in that vicinity?
Yes,
And so how do they get to school?
their parents take them down to school, and they've had to the road, which you're not allowed to do, so that they can get the kids down.
Okay, and they attend school in Mason,
They attend school in Boulder.
In
Mason
Boulder.
is not operational right now.
so that their parents have to get them to Mason, and
To
then
catch
they get
the
on a
bus.
bus, okay,
Yes,
but you guys are taking care of the snow removal yourselves.
yes. All of us now have plows.
Or we drive with chains.
We have a 4-wheel plow, and the other, 2 people that have plows, have them that come on their trucks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we can give you permission to plow the road, so you don't feel like you're breaking law.
I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, but I don't wanna get in trouble, but I have to get in and out.
Yep.
I mean, we're tired now from the fire department medical,
Right,
so it's not a huge thing. But Richard does have to get down to do his water stuff,
right.
and hopefully I'll be getting down soon to do.
Well, if you live up there, somebody needs to plow the road, and if the county's not gonna do it, I mean, you guys are doing it, which is fine, we just need to permit it and say. So you have some sideboards, you can't do this, you can do this, you know.
But to get a permit, we were told you have to have the equipment, okay, which you're gonna have to rent the equipment. None of us have that equipment up
You
there.
said you had snow plows.
Yeah, but I'm talking about actually doing the road.
No, I'm talking about snow removal.
I have to get a permit to remove snow?
Mhm. You should, but a lot of people don't.
Okay.
If you're not now, then don't worry about it.
Okay.
If
that's
there,
fine.
if
Is that
there
gonna
becomes
cost
a
me?
problem,
Do I have to show I have insurance?
I don't think so.
Okay,
No, it's essentially the county saying if you're gonna take the snow off the road, you do this, but you can't move trees, you can't, do stuff like that. That's all it is, so. But if there's no problem now, just don't worry about it. The only problem we usually get is if there's somebody farther up the road that says, hey, they're plowing it wrong. They're griping about what you're doing, then we gotta have some sideboards on it.
everybody's kind of grateful that
Okay.
that plows are actually allowed when we come down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check that out, Dee Dee. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay, and keeping in mind, this is, okay. This is still open in terms of resolution 18-2025, which is to adopt the final budget. So this meeting is still being open. Is there any discussion? Any other discussion?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
No?
I think this budget has been out on Ginger's counter for this week.
It has been on the counter for the past week. We haven't made any changes with, like I said last week, we had made some cuts, but no more cuts have been made or changes to it since last Tuesday.
Okay.
Have you had anybody in looking at it?
No.
Haven't had anybody that you've noticed? Okay.
Hmm.
I want to say thank you to Ginger in her office for getting this put together. We didn't have a finance person this year, and you kind of had to dive into it and figure it out yourself this year for the most part.
It's, yeah, I've relied heavily on, Kimberly and her work with Bonnie on it for a lot of years, more than I should have, and so definitely a learning experience, and there may be something that comes up where we have to do an amendment or, something, I don't anticipate that at this time, but, I think it's a really good process that, we go through all the time, and taxpayers are welcome to ask any questions about it at any time it's available, and always good to have those questions because it's a lot, so some stuff could get, missed or not be real clear, and if we can make it more clear, we will. If people have questions, just ask.
Was it this year we could actually levy the amount of inflation, or is that next year?
This year was just 2.11%. Next year it will be up to 4%.
Up to 4%, but the same average of the 3-year running inflationary value, okay. So I think that's even a bigger testament that we were able to pull this budget together without making every department in the county pull back. Would we do 5% last year?
Yes.
So this year we didn't have to do that. We had a couple of the bigger departments kind of take a little bit of a cut just to make ends meet, I think, but I think we're sitting in good shape. We probably have a little lower reserves than what we normally would have, but we kind of did the same thing last year, and our people did very well holding the line and holding that onto that cash, so. Yeah, very well done.
It's a difficult thing to understand, and different departments don't necessarily understand how it all works. The taxpayers don't necessarily know how it all works, with the other resolution that you'll be doing, resetting the mills. This year our values did go down with the new tax calculations with the new legislation for how property is taxed, and so that means that the mills are higher, but the real thing is that we are capped at that 2.11% over what was levied last year, so the mills look higher, but it's really only 2.11% more in revenue that we're allowed by law, so,
Same amount of money, just more mills because valuations went down.
yeah.
Essentially, yeah. Very good. Yeah, awesome job, Ginger. Thank you.
Yeah, very much so. I'll piggyback on that. You did very well done. Thank you so much. So do I need to comment on what a actual mill is this year? Countywide, and then that's for outside the city limits?
Yeah, what was our mill value this year? Was it?
It says 38,885 in the countywide and a value of $36,128.38 outside the city limits.
I think we were up to like 45 last year. weren't we?
44, 8 or 44.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So that's probably the difference in those classification levels. The residential went down, so
Mhm.
the value went down. Okay.
Anything else? That I'm missing?
No, I think that looks good.
Okay. All right, then, any other discussion on this, resolution 18-2025? Now, we're gonna go ahead and close this one. That's for discussion, so at that point now, we'll go to commissioners, so I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution 18-2025 to adopt final budget for this year, Mr. Chairman.
I would second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Thank you. Okay, still having in mind, it's still open for discussion as for resolution 19-2025, which is to fix the tax levies. So is there any discussion at this point in time for open discussion?
I think every year this is a little bit misleading because almost every year we have to amend them, so we're
Oh.
fixing the levies now, but we still need the schools, in there.
The county ones are pretty solid
The
right now.
county ones are
Yeah.
settled, yeah, but for this resolution, there will be an amendment. Which there is almost every year.
The schools aren't even in this one, huh?
Well, I think for community transportation. it is.
I just left them all out, so I could just put them all in as a block.
So
We
you want me to
amended.
present mine now?
No, go ahead.
So we do this every year and, the mills I'm responsible for setting are county transportation, which is all county, and then high school retirement and elementary retirement, which we support the schools on that. And so, on the second page, I highlighted it for you. You will see the mills. We've set this here.
You want a copy, sir? Fine.
So, what that shows is, the current mills for for transportation, we will mill 4.25 mills. Last year, it was 3.25. And so we had to mill more because the value of our mills went down to make up the difference. High school retirement, we're only milling 0.85 because we had a very large reserve in that one last year. So that looks, because last year we milled 26.15, and then elementary, we're only billing 9.26 because we had a reserve. Last year, it was 14.25. So that's pretty much my portion of that. And then as they commented, there are more levies and funding coming in. But as soon as you approve these mill levies here today, I go up to my office. This is called an FP10A. And as it says at the top, and then I hit submit on that, and that starts OPI doing their, as my financial advisor calls it, the gazintas. You know, 5 goes into 10, 10 goes into 20, and so they'll do the gazint. I know,
Mhm.
so much. So they'll do the gazettas and it generates an FP9. And then the FP9 will have all the next information, and we've had conversations, and it's just premature until OPI has those funds. We could pull them, but sometimes they change. So to avoid backing up in amendments, we'll just wait till OPI gets us the FP9, and that will generate all the other information you need for your mill levies. Is there
Great.
any questions on that? I have one more thing before.
Nope.
And then, Mr. Chairman, as a courtesy, it's mostly a courtesy, but it's required. Every year, the schools construct their budgets, and there are 8 schools in the county, and submit them, and we pull the information from them. You really have no say in that. You don't get to question it. It's all based on what entitlement and historical things. But with that said, they submit a budget report and a trustee financial summary, the TFS. And so your signature is required on the page of every one of their budget reports. So I have sticky noted.
So it shows that we're aware of such, right?
Maroon thing, and you have to sign.
Is that right, Sarah? It shows that we're aware of the subject?
Yes, yes, and that they're in compliance, got their budgets in on
Okay.
time, and have submitted them to OPI and have a submit ID number and all that, so.
At the
Yeah.
end of the meeting.
And
Because right now, this is just information. right?
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. And then, but with your approval, then I'll go submit that when
Okay,
I leave here, and then you'll sign those and get those back. to
absolutely.
me.
Here, as soon as, yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
scan them back. Thank you for your,
If you want to wait a little bit.
I'll be happy to.
Okay, thank you.
And the reason that we do this, even though we end up having to amend it later, is because of the timeline that we have to pass
Oh,
the
okay.
budget and all of that. So, we have to pass the budget within 30 days of receiving the taxable values, or the first Thursday before, first Thursday in September. It's a goofy timeline, but that's why we're doing this today, even though we know we have to.
And it's required by law that I present these to you on the first Tuesday of September. That I have to have this done just to keep us all on track, so the train keeps moving.
Mhm.
And I also have to say, thanks to everybody in here. This was, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, but the easiest year we've had, setting mill levies, getting information from people and working together. So I really appreciate all of you guys working towards this.
Great.
Well, I thank you for all the clarity from all of you guys too, so. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Any other discussion in regards to this resolution, resolution 19-2025? If not, we'll go ahead and close this meeting. And I would entertain a motion.
I will move to approve resolution 19-2025 fixed tax levies, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner, and I would second that. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Resolution carried. Okay. And that's pretty much, let's see, that's all we got to cover, right?
At the end of the agenda.
Okay, we're at the end, so this will, this ends this meeting. We will be adjourned then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll shut this off.